Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. To the Israelite foreigners that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth that may look like the heathen nations. And to the very few sisters that listen and learn, to you, Shalom. I'm the brother Yasharala with Great Millstone Chicago. A lot of videos been popping up of China due to the tariffs. They're starting to advertise directly to the consumer. All right, because you will have middlemen who would order through China's distribution their products for pennies, 5 cents, 10 cents for this, a penny for that, right? And buy them by the boatload, bring it over here to America and sell it for 100 times whatever it's worth. You know, if they buy something for like $1, they're selling it for like $100, $50, $20, you know, and they're getting these things dirt cheap now, you know, since these tariffs are in place. You know, China's like, look, I've been seeing a lot of TikTok videos. Hey, look, here goes our website. You could buy directly from us. No minimum order, you know, and they're exposing America for, you know, tax for basically ripping us off. So it made me think of Revelations, the 18th chapter, which goes into the destruction of America, and no country is going to be able to sell to America, which is Babylon, according to the scriptures. All right, so how willingness is edifying. All right, you got Revelations 18:1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So this place is basically already destroyed. We just got to play out the timeline until, you know, this vision that John is seeing. All right, it's already written. So this place is already destined to be destroyed. It's only a matter of time before this prophecy is fulfilled. And John, he's seen it. He's seen America destroyed, right? Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So the nations are drunk of the wine and the wrath of her fornication is the ways, the philosophies, all right, of America, which is spiritually, which is Babylon, spiritually Sodom and Egypt. And this place is where the other nations got rich. All right, they got rich selling their goods to us over here in America, which is Babylon, and making tremendous amount of profit on whatever they're selling. Again, the dude said, he's like, look, 5-cent cups, 5 cent, and these are cups that when you go to the store, you know, for an individual cup, you're paying like $1.50. A pack, you're paying like, you know, $10. And here it is, you can get them for like 5 cents a cup. Just to give you an example. Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. All right, which, spiritually, we are to come out of her as far as the ways of this place, which the ways of America, all right, also known as Babylon, according to the scriptures, is being a part of this present evil, wicked world. All right. But ultimately, this is when the chariot comes and starts delivering the 1/3, the hopeful elect, out of Babylon, America, before it's destroyed. All right. That ye be not partakers of her sin, and that ye receive not of her plagues, so you don't get destroyed. All right. When the missiles come. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. So this place is, it's overdue, damn near. All right, this place is overdue for judgment. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, in the cup which she had filled to her double. Which, what was the cup that was given to us? Slavery. All right, captivity. So that's what's going to happen to these Edomites. All right. They're going to have to drink of that cup, and they're going to have to get double. Verse 7, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. All right, because America is basically still, it's basically untouched as far as war goes. No real threat has came over here and done anything, and the people of Babylon, all right, they don't think that anything's gonna happen to them. They don't think that they're gonna have to go through any sorrow. All right, they have that false reality of, oh, nothing's ever gonna happen, we're fine. But look at what verse 8 says. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh God who judgeth her. And that's the judgment, is fire. All right, the second death. That's going to be the judgment for America and other countries. The whole planet Earth is not going to be burnt up on fire. Israel definitely is. America 100% definitely is. And then whatever little other parts of the land get hit. But for the most part, that great judgment is going to be here in Babylon. Verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So this is something that's physical. This isn't a spiritual thing. This is something that physically is going to happen. The other nations are going to be able to see, just like when 9/11 happened and the Twin Towers went down, that smoke. It's going to be the same thing with America on a greater scale. All right. It's going to be on this destruction. Nations are going to see this place being judged. Verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, and saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. All right. And it's not going to take forever for these missiles to destroy this place 100%. It's only going to take 1 hour, one physical hour. It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. See, and that's what made me think of after, because you got China over here, tariffs. Well, you buy directly from us now. We'll cut the middleman out, so you don't have hundreds of dollars for something you could buy from us for pennies on the dollar. All right, but when this place is 100% destroyed, places like China, and other nations that um, export their goods, I believe that's the word. Export is when they sell to another country, and import is when you receive those goods from another country. I believe that's the terminology. I always get import export mixed up, but they're not going to be able to sell to here anymore. Who's going to buy their merchandise? There's not going to be nobody to buy here. Everything's going to be destroyed. So they're going to be weeping and mourning. And then this is everything that was sold and that's being sold. Verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manners of vessels of ivory and all manners vessels of precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. So, people are still being trafficked. Slavery still exists. You just don't know about it. Verse 14, and the fruits that thy soul lusteth after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. All right. None of that stuff is coming once this place is judged. All right. Of these things which were made rich by her shall for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. So again, they're going to see this great judgment. Verse 16, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and they saw this, and cried when they saw burning, saying, what city is like this great city? So basically, their number one buyer, all right, is dead. All right, it's like you being like a dealer, whatever you're dealing, and your number one customer dies on you. Like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to make as much money anymore. That's what it's gonna be like. They're gonna be like, fuck, this place is destroyed. Whole body survived that over there, except for elect. But in their mind, how are we gonna make money over there? That's where all our money came from. That's where we got rich at. Verse 18, and they cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Which this city is speaking of is America. All right. Also known as Babylon, also known as spiritual Sodom in Egypt. Verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. So they're gonna, when you cast dust on your heads, you're mourning, you're sad. All right. Everybody gets sad when their money get fucked up. This is verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. So the Yahweh Shem Yahushai already avenged us. We just got to play role. We just got to play out the rest of this script. All right, we already got the victory. We already won. We just got to play out, all right, the rest of the scripts like a movie. All right. We're not the ones who go to the movie theater to watch the movie and, oh, wow, oh my, look at this, the story and how it ends. And like, I wonder what's going to happen at the end. No, we're the ones who got the script from the director, and he said this is what's going to happen here at the around this time, and at the end this is the ending of the movie. So we already know how it's going to play out. We're just got to wait till it fully plays out. All right, so we already got avenged. We just got to wait till that day comes. All right, so we already won. We just got to keep on enduring to the end. Verse 21, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and should be found no more at all. So when this place gets hit with those nukes, hey, this is just going to be a complete wilderness, a complete desert. All right. Wiped off the map. Literally wiped off the map. Verse 22, and the voice of harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman or whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. No more partying, no more music, no more creating. All right, none of that. It's all going to be stopped. No more jobs. 23, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by the sorceries were all nations deceived. All right, Esau with his bullshit, his lies. All right, which his witchcraft, his sorcery, his drugs. Right. That's all gonna get put to an end. Verse 24, and in her were found the blood of the prophets and of the saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. And the scriptures go into Numbers. It talks about the land cannot be cleansed by the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of them who shed it. All right. And America, like it said here, was found the blood of the prophets and the saints. So the way this place is going to get paid back is for the blood to be, their blood to be shed here. All right. The ones who did that to us, which reincarnation, you come back in the flesh after you died, is in the scriptures. All right, so this place is going to get that judgment. Guess what, China? You ain't going to make yourself rich over here anymore, because this place is going to be destroyed along with the other nations. You're not going to make yourself rich anymore. All right, but just seeing this all play out, like now China wants to say, hey, look, you guys been getting screwed over. You know, you can get a wash pod for your laundry 5 cents. You can get 20 of them for $1. But here it is, you're going to the store and you're paying like $10 for like freaking 10 of them, or however it's priced. Oh, you guys are getting ripped off. You know, just buy it directly from us. You guys didn't have no problem though selling it to them, to have them sell it to us until you guys, you know, got taxed. Now you want to expose, you know. So it just shows you that America and China and all these other countries are all full of shit, and you're not going to be made rich anymore, especially when this place is destroyed. And on top of that, y'all gonna have to bring your shit to us. All right, that's a whole nother lesson. But other than that, Yahweh Ratazad, this was edifying. Till next time, Shalom.